Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here. Welcome back into the Bears in an NFL podcast with the Chicago Bears First Focus. I'm your host, and today we're going to be doing our Week 3 predictions. This is my second time recording it because the audio was completely clapped in the first one, so whatever. With that being said, we 8-8 in our picks in Week 2. Wish we had a better week, but through 2 weeks we're 18-14. We're still above 500. We've yet to have a losing week of picks, so I can't really complain. I'm hoping that we're really going to bounce back here in Week 3, and we're going to have a good week. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm using the Playoff Predictor website as always. If you're new here, the actual records of the teams, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to be picking our games. We'll start with the AFC. Look, give me the Jets at home against New England. New England has surprised me, and then they've surprised a lot of people. I just think that, Aaron Rodgers is kind of getting back into the swing of things, kind of finding his footing again. And, they looked pretty decent last week. It was a one-score game against Tennessee, but, I think as the weeks progress and, his health gets stronger and stronger and he kind of gets back into it, I think they're going to get stronger and stronger. And I think that, while this is going to be a tough game, a divisional game, I think this is maybe going to be a one-score game. I like the Jets here at home. Up next, LA Chargers on the road against Pittsburgh. I'm taking Pittsburgh here. I like Pittsburgh at home here because, there's some talk, is Justin Herbert going to play? He's dealing with kind of an ankle injury. And with Jim Harbaugh's style of play that they've been doing in LA so far this season with the run-first offense, I just think that that's a really poor matchup into this Steelers defense with TJ Watt up front. I think that, LA is not going to be able to run the ball as well. I think that, if Herbert has to pass, obviously he can do that. But, if he's fighting off of an ankle injury, a foot injury, is he going to be at full strength? And I just, as long as Justin Fields keeps playing this style of play that he's playing while he's protecting the football and moving the ball enough where they can get some points on the board, I think the defense will keep them in the game, and I like Pittsburgh at home. Up next, this is an easy one for me. I'm taking Buffalo at home. They're coming off the mini bye. They've got extra rest. Jacksonville's looking like that they're looking pretty bad. They haven't won since Thanksgiving last year. You pay Trevor Lawrence all this money, and they're sitting at 0-2, and now they're playing one of the hottest teams in the AFC. A team that absolutely dominated Miami last week on primetime Thursday night, controlled the game completely. Josh Allen's looking really good. He's protecting the football. James Cook is, being really efficient for them. And I just think that, there's going to be some conversation starting in Jacksonville soon. Should we have paid him this money? Is Doug Peterson the head coach? What are we doing? I think that, Jacksonville's going to slide to 0-3 here, and there's going to be some concerns. Now we'll hit the AFC NFC matchups here, and I'm going to take Tennessee at home against Green Bay. There's some talk if, is Jordan Love going to play? If Jordan Love does play, I would pick Green Bay. I'm doing this right now. It's Thursday, so we don't know if he's going to play yet this week. If he does, I'll pick them. But I think, with that front four of Tennessee and how dominant they've looked so far this year, I think the Matt LaFleur, philosophy of running the ball so that Malik Willis doesn't have to throw is not going to work. I think that's going to get shut down, and Malik's going to have to throw. And while it's a fairly small sample size with his career, what we've seen from him so far is that when he has to throw the ball in the end, it's not pretty. And I think that, if Jordan Love doesn't play, I think this is just a matchup up front that Green Bay can't win. I think that's really, really going to hurt them. Up next, we've got Houston on the road in Minnesota. Give me Houston here. Houston's defense surprised me. I think I was underrating them a little bit going into the Bears game, but that combo of Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter is very, very lethal. Justin Jefferson got injured last week, and it's seeming like he's going to play, but I don't think he's going to be at full strength, and I think that that's going to hurt Sam Darnold in Minnesota. Minnesota surprised me. They looked good. Sam Darnold's looked good. It seems like it's a perfect marriage, between him and Kevin O'Connell. But with that being said, I think, a not full power Justin Jefferson with that front four up front and CJ Stroud not really going to be turning the ball over. I like Houston on the road here. I've got the Bears on the road here, going into Indy and getting the win. I like this one a lot because Indy's given up the most rushing yards per game so far this season, and I think that this is going to be the get right game. This is going to be the offensive awakening for the Bears. I think that DeAndre Swift's going to actually be able to get some runs, some carries going. I think the Bears' offensive line is going to get better. There's going to be no DeForest Buckner for us to worry about, and I think that even if the Bears' offense doesn't get going, like I predict that they will, I think Kilo's going to have a really good game. I think this is going to be a 250-yard plus game if they decide to air it out. Um, but even if he doesn't, and the offense still looks like it has these first 2 weeks, I think that the defense will kind of control this game anyways. Anthony Richardson's been a turnover machine so far this year. He had 3 picks last week against Green Bay. I think he's definitely going to be throwing one or two to Jalen Johnson. Tyreek might have one, and I just think that this is a good matchup for the Bears. It's an important one to kind of get the confidence back and get things going in the right direction once again. Denver on the road in Tampa Bay. Give me Tampa Bay here. They're looking really good. They're looking really strong. Baker Mayfield's got his money. We can have that conversation. Is he a top 5 quarterback in the NFC? I would say as of right now, yes, absolutely. He's getting it done. They went into Detroit's home last week and took them out. Detroit was a team that beat them in the playoffs last year, and I think it's always a sign of an ascending team when you can go into the home of the guys that kicked you out of the playoffs last year and you can beat them. That proves that you're improving and you're getting better. And Bo Nix, he's looking like a rookie. You can't blame him. There's an adjustment period in the league for sure, but he's been turning the ball over in the red zone. He can't be doing it. I just think that Tampa's looked like a really, really strong team, one of the best teams in the NFC through these first 2 weeks. I like that. I like them at home. Absolutely. Up next, Giants versus Cleveland. I will not be watching this game. I'm going to take Cleveland here. I like Daniel Jones. I've always kind of had a soft spot for Daniel Jones, but he just can't get it done. And I don't know where the 2022 Daniel Jones went, where they were, they went to the playoffs and they won. Um, there's talks, is it Brian Dable? What's going on? And look, I like Malik Neighbors too, and I think Dable's a good coach. I just think that it's not working. It's not working, and I don't think Cleveland's anything better. They've got a good defense, but I think Deshaun Watson's the worst trade and contract in the history of sports. But their defense is too good, and I think it's going to cause a lot of problems for Daniel Jones. And it wouldn't surprise me if he turns the ball over a ton this week, and then this is the last we see him as a starter in New York. Miami on the road in Seattle. Give me Seattle. Look, if Tua was playing, I'd take Miami here for sure, but Skylar Thompson's not going to be getting it done in my eyes, and I think that Seattle's looked pretty good this year. If they win this, they'll be 3-0. Geno Smith has been very, very consistent, very stable since he's been in Seattle, and they've got some good weapons in DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett, and so on. So I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. No Tua, no win for Miami in my eyes. Up next, I'm taking the Raiders here. Andy Dalton is not going to be getting it done for Carolina. I think this week we're going to identify that it's not a Bryce Young issue, it's a Carolina Panthers issue. And the front office, Dave Canales, David Tepper, these guys should be ashamed of themselves for benching Bryce Young. This is a disgusting act. For them to, it really it genuinely pisses me off. When you trade Christian McCaffrey away, and then you trade DJ Moore away to bring in Bryce Young, what do you want him to do? What is he supposed to do? There's nothing for him to do. There's no help. There's no weapons. The team sucks. The roster sucks. And they give him 18 starts and then they throw him away. They throw him to the Wolves and then they throw him away. And it's an absolutely disgusting act. It pisses me off as a football fan. It's a confidence destroyer. And I hope that Carolina gets annihilated. I'm not going to say this often. You're not going to hear me wish the teams get beat. I'm pretty fair. I want to see good games. I want to see enjoyable games. But I hope Carolina gets their ass kicked this week because they had Sam Darnold in the building. We see how he's looked through 2 weeks in Minnesota. They had Baker Mayfield in the building. We see how he's looked in Tampa Bay. So this isn't a Bryce Young issue. This is a Carolina Panthers issue. and they should be ashamed of themselves for benching him. And if I'm Bryce Young, I'm asking for a trade out of there. I'm asking to be released, whatever, because they've done him so dirty. And I'm not an Alabama fan. I've always rooted for Ohio State, but to see, an NFL quarterback get done like this by his team, it's very sad as a fan to see. So I hope that the Raiders, who have looked good, Gardner Minshew's looked good. He's had a good grasp of the offense. He's been hitting Devontae Adams. I hope they kick the Panthers' ass, and we can realize that this is not a Bryce Young problem. Up next, give me Baltimore on the road. It's not often that Dallas is an underdog at home, but they are for a reason. I think that, when they got annihilated last week at home, it's kind of like oh my God, what? Because they haven't struggled in the regular season these past 3 seasons. They've been 12-win teams. So I think they're going to be kind of shell-shocked. And, people think that they're going to be able to bounce back this week. No. Baltimore's in a must-win scenario. If they lose this game, they're down 0-3. They can't have that in, a division where Pittsburgh could potentially be 3-0. So they need this win, and they know that. And I think that they're going to go into Dallas and get the job done. Up next, Kansas City. Give me Kansas City on the road. Atlanta, they're kind of hard to identify where they're at as a team because they looked pretty rough through 119 minutes of football, and then Kirk Cousins took them right down the field and they won the game. So, is that the Kirk Cousins we're going to see this week, or are we going to see the week one Kirk Cousins? It's hard to say. I guess the argument could be made, are we going to see week one Patrick Mahomes, or are we going to see week two Patrick Mahomes, who had arguably his worst career game? I'm going to say that the week two Patrick Mahomes is an anomaly with all that we've seen in his career so far. So give me the Chiefs on the road here in a pretty commanding fashion. Up next, Washington at Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati here. Cincinnati needs this win. I think, Baltimore and Cincinnati both sitting at 0-2. They need these wins. Jane Daniels has looked decent. Still hasn't thrown a touchdown. None of the rookie quarterbacks have yet. He's ran for 2 touchdowns, but I think that, Bengals defenses look pretty good. They, were this close to beating Kansas City in Kansas City last week. I think that this should be a game that they are able to win pretty easily. And with T. Higgins likely coming back, I think that they should kind of look back to normal form in week 3. Finally, 3 NFC games this week. This is where we're at. Philly on the road in New Orleans. Give me New Orleans here. I'm buying in on New Orleans. I think what we're seeing is real. And I think the Philly that we saw in week 2 is the real Philly. I told you guys before the start of the season, there's going to be problems. There's going to be talk about Nick Sirianni, about the locker room. I'm telling you, the meltdown is coming. I'm not rooting for a meltdown. Like I said, I'm never going to root on the downfall of any team except the Green Bay Packers. But the downfall is coming in Philly. And I think New Orleans is the real deal. People aren't talking about New Orleans enough. They think it's a fluke. BS. BS. When you go into a 12-win team's home and you annihilate them, that is worth something. I don't care what it is. It's not like Dallas has lost all these weapons. They've lost Tony Pollard compared to last season. That's it. What they did was legitimate. And when you consistently score 40 points in back-to-back weeks, that's a real deal. That's not a fluke. I'm buying in on New Orleans here, and I think they're going to do similar things to Philly. San Francisco versus the Rams. Give me San Francisco here. Look, no Deebo Samuel, no Christian McCaffrey for San Francisco. In most scenarios, that would result in a loss. But the Rams, no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua, missing multiple offensive linemen. The Rams are the team that seems to have been hit with the injury bug this year. And, it sucks because we're approaching the end of Matthew Stafford's career. It's been really unfortunate to see all the injuries pile up in LA, but, San Francisco, I think, is going to be able to get it done. No Deebo, no Christian McCaffrey, but they've still got weapons. They've still got Trent Williams. I think they'll be able to get it done. And then finally this week, Arizona, Detroit. Give me Arizona here. Kyler Murray played the best game last week out of any of the quarterbacks in the league. I think he's going to do it again. Excuse me. Marvin Harrison Jr. finally was able to get the ball. I think that, Healthy Kyler Murray is one of the most exciting quarterbacks in the league to watch, and I think that Detroit coming off a tough loss last week. I think, like I said at the start of the year, I think they're going to struggle. Believe that they're going to struggle this year. When you're in the NFC Championship game and you're leading by that much at halftime and you blow the trip to the Super Bowl, I think that has effects. I think it has mental effects on the team, on the players, on the coaching staff, and so on. I think they're going to struggle, and I think that as of right now, Arizona is the better team. So those are my picks for week 3. Those would be the standings after week 3 if it were to play out that way. Let me know what you guys think down below. What games do you agree with? Am I crazy for picking one team here or another team there? Did I get them all right? Let me know what you guys think down below. I appreciate you guys hanging out in the den with me as always. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. It really helps me out. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers here before the end of the month. That would really just mean the world to me. I love making these videos and love talking with you guys in the comments. So I appreciate you all watching. As always, bear down, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.